What if I told you that the secret to a truly fulfilling life isn't about adding more things to it, but about quietly removing what no longer serves you? The ancient Stoics understood this profound truth thousands of years ago, and today we're going to explore 15 things that you should eliminate from your life, not with drama, not with announcements, but quietly, deliberately, and with purpose. Before we dive deep into this life-changing content, I want you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. Why? Because this channel is dedicated to bringing you daily Stoic insights that can transform your life, and I don't want you to miss a single video that could be the catalyst for your personal revolution. Also, drop a comment below telling me which of these 15 things resonates most with you. Your engagement helps this content reach more people who need these ancient wisdom teachings in their modern lives. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Today, we're going to discover what that very little really means by learning what to remove from our lives. Chapter 1. The Stoic Philosophy of Elimination. The Stoics weren't minimalists in the modern sense, but they understood something profound about human nature. We often suffer more from what we carry unnecessarily than from what we lack. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest philosophers, taught that freedom comes not from having everything we want, but from wanting nothing that isn't truly ours to control. This isn't about living in deprivation. It's about living with intention. When we eliminate what doesn't serve us, we create space for what truly matters. Think of it like pruning a tree. You remove the dead branches not to harm the tree, but to help it flourish. The first thing you must quietly eliminate is your desperate need for everyone's approval. Marcus Aurelius reminds us how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. Here's the brutal truth: you will never please everyone, and the attempt to do so will drain your soul. Every minute you spend crafting your image for others is a minute stolen from becoming who you're meant to be. The Stoics taught that the only approval that matters is your own. Specifically, the approval that comes from living according to your values and principles. Start small. The next time you feel the urge to change your opinion to match the room, pause. Ask yourself, am I speaking my truth or am I performing for approval? This simple awareness is the first step toward freedom. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Sometimes, that ending needs to be a relationship that no longer serves your growth. I'm not talking about cutting people off dramatically or burning bridges. I'm talking about the quiet, gradual withdrawal from relationships that consistently leave you feeling depleted, manipulated, or diminished. The Stoics understood that we become like those we spend time with. Choose wisely. This doesn't mean abandoning people during their difficult times. It means recognizing the difference between someone going through a hard season and someone who consistently chooses toxicity as their way of being. You cannot save everyone, and the attempt to do so often drowns both of you. Chapter 4. Thing number 3. The illusion of control over external events. This is perhaps the most fundamental Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that some things are within our control and some things are not. Wisdom lies in knowing the difference and focusing only on what we can actually influence. You cannot control the weather, other people's decisions, the stock market, or whether your boss is in a good mood today. But you can control your response to all of these things. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free up enormous mental and emotional energy for what actually matters. Practice this daily. When something frustrates you, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. If yes, take action. This simple practice will revolutionize your peace of mind. The Stoics were not naive about suffering. They understood that life contains genuine hardships. But they also understood that we often compound our suffering by adopting a victim mentality that robs us of our power. Viktor Frankl, though not a Stoic, embodied Stoic principles when he wrote from his experience in concentration camps. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Eliminating victim mentality doesn't mean denying that bad things happen or that some people face more challenges than others. It means refusing to let your circumstances define your character. It means asking, what can I learn from this, instead of why is this happening to me? Perfectionism masquerades as a virtue, but it's actually a sophisticated form of fear. The Stoics valued excellence, but they understood that perfectionism often prevents us from taking any action at all. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations for publication. They were personal notes, imperfect thoughts working through life's challenges. Yet they've influenced millions because he focused on progress, not perfection. The antidote to perfectionism is what the Stoics called preferred indifference, outcomes we'd prefer but don't need for our happiness. Do your best work, then release attachment to the results. This paradoxically often leads to better outcomes because you're not paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. Social media has weaponized our natural tendency to compare ourselves to others. But this isn't a new problem. Seneca warned against this over 2,000 years ago. How much trouble there is in getting to know yourself, not just your physical characteristics, but what you're made of on the inside. Every moment you spend comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel is a moment you're not investing in your own growth. The Stoics taught that the only meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you were yesterday. Implement a comparison detox. When you catch yourself comparing, immediately redirect your attention to your own progress. Keep a daily journal noting one way you've grown or improved. This trains your mind to focus on your own journey. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The need to always be right often stems from ego, not from a genuine desire for truth or understanding. Being wrong is not a character flaw, it's a learning opportunity. The Stoics valued wisdom above being right, and wisdom often comes from admitting our mistakes and changing our minds when presented with better information. Practice saying, I was wrong, or I don't know when appropriate. Notice how liberating it feels to release the exhausting burden of always having to be right. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Holding grudges is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It accomplishes nothing except poisoning your own peace of mind. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat or failing to set boundaries. It means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotional state. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment.